Today we're going to talk about the Arkel Coast. The Arkel Coast is a brand new player in the espresso machine market, and there has been a lot of discussions and rumors about it. We have it here now, and we're gonna have a deep look into the Arkel Coast today. I'm Wolfgang from the Röster, and if you're a German speaker, we did a couple of German videos on this topic as well. We put that on the description, you can look at that one as well. Now we want to target also to all your English-speaking espresso enthusiasts, because there's not a lot of Coast videos out there yet. The Coast, in a nutshell, what is it? It's this machine. It's a very clean, modern design, a very untypical design for an espresso machine. It's a dual boiler. It has quite some automated functions, and it also has flow control. So that's one of the a few key items of this machine. One information about our role in the Coast: we're gonna do the distribution in Austria. So that means that we are quite convinced on the Coast and on Arkel as a company, and this is now the machine we just got delivered last week, so that's the latest production version that we are having. As this is gonna be a bit of a long one, let's prepare coffee first to get some energy. Now we are ready to start. Some cappuccino and some espresso. And let's put that away and let's get started with all the information. Alright, start off with some history on the Arkel Coast. The Arkel Coast is founded by Fernando. Fernando is a very experienced businessman out of Portugal, in Porto. And he was actually owning a company doing rather low-end espresso machines till 4 years ago. He sold this company and he said, okay, now I want to do an espresso machine like I want to have an espresso machine, a proper one. So 3 years ago, he started Arkel with the expectation to be ready for the market within 6 months. But he kind of underestimated the project, and out of the 6 months, it's more than 2.5 years, nearly to 3 years now, and now quite a few machines get delivered to customers. I've been in Porto like in September. Fernando has been here last week. It's February 2025, and currently there are around 100 pieces, I think, that have been produced. We in Austria, we got 12 of them right now, and those have been delivered to customers already. So there are quite a number, so 2 handful customers in Austria who are already happy to have an Arkel Coast at home, and the response, I can say, is really, really good. All right, so far for history, let's go to the base concept of the Arkel. What did he think about when he constructed the Arkel Coast? He was kind of thinking of the situation where you have different personalities or different ambition levels. So maybe you have one person who's really an ambitious coffee maker and another person who just wants to make it easy. And with the Arkel Coast, you have freaky functions like the flow control here. You can do pre-infusions, you can change temperature. But you also have functions that make it easy, like buttons which are dosed, even the water button that is dosed, and makes it easy. It also makes it look easy. So it was the concept to have for both target groups to have a proper machine. And it's a very modern design. He also wanted to have a different design than other machines on the market. He also wants to have very high end components. We're going to talk about stainless steel, especially, and other parts he introduced. And he wanted to produce in Europe and also with European parts. And last but not least, and a very big topic on the espresso machine market right now, he also wanted to have saturated brew group and a fast heat up time. And that was the base concept that led to the development of the Arkel Coast. And as we're looking here on the design, maybe start with that one first. The design is very clean, modern. So we have a very unique design with more like no rounded parts. It's all edges. It's all flat surfaces. It is not that small. It has a width of 32 centimeters. It's 36 centimeters deep, and the height is 41 centimeters. It's very modern, and you have glass here, and the rest is metal. So it's a lot of metal and glass, not so much of plastic. All right, we discussed the design. Now we want to go into the base values and also take a look around the machine from the outside. It is a dual boiler system, so we have a brew boiler of 750 mils. We have a steam boiler of 1 liter. We have 2 vibration pumps, so 1 pump for brewing and 1 pump for refilling the steam boiler. And also, as we're going to learn afterwards, it has an automated descaling program for descaling the steam boiler. It has glass in the fronts here and up here, which is quite unique on espresso machines. It works with touch buttons, which are LED light on the back here. So you have 4 buttons here, and you have the menu buttons on the left side. Those buttons, we have, as I said, 4 here. We have A and B, which are 2 buttons that can be programmed time-based. So you can program, for example, A is 25 seconds. We have a continuous dose button, start, stop, touch, touch, start, touch, stop. And we have a water delivery or water dispenser here. That's the force button, which is actually dosed as well. So you can also set seconds on the force button. On the left side, we have the menu. We're going to walk through the menu afterwards. We have a small display here. The display shows the temperature. Once you're brewing, it shows the shot timer and also the menu. We're going to see afterwards. We have the gauges here. So we have the steam gauge. You're going to see it's actually set at around 2 bars on the steam boiler. For that reason, also the 1 liter steam boiler is quite powerful because it's on 2 bars. And we have the pressure on the brewing on the bottom. If we walk around to the left side, we have a very important piece here, which is a joystick that acts as flow control. So you can actually, on twisting that down, you can reduce the flow, and back up you can increase. So you can really reduce it basically to 0 and to full flow. And as you have the gauge here on the pressure, you can really see, we're gonna test afterwards, that you can steer that quite well. So if you put in coffee here, you can actually steer that quite well down and up. We're gonna talk about what helps this feature for our coffee, especially on the freaky side, later on. If you look at the joystick on the other side, it's the steam joystick, so we can just going down, we're gonna open the steam. As you can see, very powerful and keeps on steaming. And we can also say, okay, we don't want that intense steam, just go not that further down, and you hear it's less, and the more you go down, the more intense the steam is. And it's not only going front, you can also go back. You have a purge function. So before steaming, you just purge, just go back. It returns to the start positioning immediately. And also for cleaning, you steam, you clean from the outside, you purge, and you're done on the steam wand. If you look on the bottom, we have quite a big working area here. And if we remove that one, we have a very big drip tray. So this is really set for office or even a small bar. You can work quite a long time till you get a lot of liquid in the drip tray, so you need to empty it. And as you see, you also have some very solid built frames around here. If you look at the top, we have here space for cups. So if we take some cups, we can put them here. And they also made it that it's actually, there's the top goes a little down and there's some limiter here. So it looks nice from the front and the cups are really quite well aligned here. On the back side you have the cover, and here you have also a screw where you can actually change the overpressure valve, which means you can change the maximum pressure you're having. We got the tank here. It's, I think, 2.7 liters. It's quite a well-made tank. You have here a maximum line. You have a descale line, so you know how much you need to put in actually for descaling. And you can put in a filter here. So if you have a lot of water hardness, you can put in the filter here. And yeah, it's quite convenient from the top. And maybe also take a quick look on the side. So if we just twist the machine a bit. So to turn the machine on, you go on the right side. You have two buttons. The back button is to turn the machine fully off. And the front button is actually to turn steam on or off. So if you happen to do only espressos, so you don't need steaming, you just turn the front button off, which is quite convenient here, and it only heats up the brew boiler. So that's actually a very nice feature. You don't need to go into a menu or any other things, you just push the button here. And it's actually, even the machine heats up very fast. If you want to have it on and on-off power cord or something, you can also, that's a real button, so you can put it also in the automation to do some remote on and off on your machine. There are quite a few things that are unique or innovative on the Coast. Now I want to talk about those things. First, the flow control. I just grounded some coffee, so let's try. I think I tried to ground it a bit coarser, so its flows actually would flow too fast, but I just want to show how you can react on that one. So let's see how it goes. And we see pressure going up. And we see the flow is actually a bit fast, so if you want one, but what you can do is actually, and if you look here on the presser gauge, I don't know whether you can see, you can actually reduce it quite a bit. So we now go on to, let's say, 3 bars and restrict the flow, so we also get an instruction, for example, with 28 seconds, what we want to do. This is not that you can reproduce it very easy because you cannot save it, but still it actually helps if you have ground the coffee to coarse. But it also enables you to extract, for example, fruity coffee differently. So you could like restrict the flow in the beginning and only increase it after maybe 10, 12, 30 seconds and extract to 30, 35 seconds. This actually works quite well. I had last 2 weeks ago, I had a customer here who wanted to taste some coffees, and I started to grind it on a single dose grinder, and it was actually set way too coarse. So I actually restricted the flow. We still got it 28 seconds. I turned finer on the grinder. Same thing, was still too coarse, not that bad, but still too coarse. I also restricted the flow, got the similar extraction time. Third try, the grind size was perfect, no restricting on the flow, 28 seconds again. We tasted those 3 coffees, and surprisingly, those were very similar. So it's not about the pressure so much, it's more about, and that has been talked a lot in the internet, about the flow. But that was one thing when I realized, okay, with the Arkel Coast and this relatively easily flow control, you can actually repair or react to such situations quite well. Second thing is stainless steel. You might think, okay, stainless steel, that is used everywhere in espresso machines. That's true for some extent, but even if stainless steel boilers are promoted very visible, in a lot of cases you have brass components in there, like magnetic valve or some connectors, and you have copper pipes. And you usually have like brass parts in the brew group, not on the Arkel Coast. You have stainless steel boilers, all the components on the boiler and connecting the pipes are stainless steel, and especially also the brew group is stainless steel. And usually the brew group is actually made of some top part, then you have a plate, and then you have the shower screen. The plate is usually out of brass, and then the shower screen. The Arkel has the whole thing in one piece. So there's no plate. The whole plate is included in the brew group. That's one piece. They made it because of better thermal stability if it's one piece. So the only thing that is really mounted is the shower screen, which is actually an IMS shower screen by default. If you're talking about stainless steel, also the portafilter, which is this one, with a wooden handle and some weight in the back. The whole top is stainless steel, so it's very easy to clean and it's very durable. What is also unique is there is a lot of small things that we are having. For example, the tank. If you're looking at the tank, then you have the nose on the bottom, and the nose goes into the counterpart, and then the water flows through. As you might know from several machines, and that also we have in our workshop, then in some cases this is not always perfect, so there's some spillage of water around here. So what Arkel does, it actually has a basket in the bottom of the tank area, and this basket actually takes all the water and delivers it to the drip tray. So there's a pipe to the drip tray. So even if you spill some water here, it's not going into the machine and into some electrical components. It is goes into the drip tray. What is also nice on this machine, because we actually tested all the machines we got last week, and we also delivered it, and it's quite cold outside now, so we didn't want to have water remains in the machine. So if you open it, you can actually empty both boilers very easily. We're going to show afterwards once we take a look inside. What is also unique about the Arkel Coast is some, I would say, to make it easy functions or comfortability functions. There is an automated backflushing. There is an automated descaling program. So those important cleaning procedures are automated and made easier for the customer. What is also quite unique on the coast compared to a lot of competitors is that the components on the coast are made in Europe. So it was very important for Fernando not only to make the product in Porto or to build it together in Porto. He also makes a lot of things himself. So the whole frame is made in the factory in Porto. But it was also very important for him to source the components he doesn't do himself in Europe. So he always claims that 98% of the components inside there are made in Europe. One important topic for Fernando was also the fast heat-up time and temperature stability. They actually experimented a lot about it. They did a preheating on previous models, which actually was not that well on the stability. So in the end, they got rid of it. But what they're doing now on temperature are two things. First, they have PID control, as everybody, in the brew boiler, and the brew boiler is heated up fast. But also that you get a very fast heat up of the brew group, because the brew group is usually the thing that slows down the heat up time, is there's actually a heating element in the brew group. So once you start the machine, the heating element heats up and heats up the brew group quite fast. And when the boiler is ready, the brew group is ready as well. When you turn on the machine, it shows a heat up symbol, and now they tell about 9 minutes. We need to make good measurements on that one. We haven't done yet, but it's quite fast on heating up. On temperature stability as well, we need to do proper tests ourselves yet. We haven't done that, but at least Fernando claims if you do some tests on like the VBC protocol type of tests, he claims that usually you are within 0.9 degrees on every shot. So that would be a very, very nice value. Still to be confirmed. We're going to do that in a couple of weeks, I guess. Next, we want to take a look on the menu and what you can do going through the little menu here. If you look in the machine now, you have the small display here. The display shows the temperature that is set. You can take plus and minus and set the temperature up and down. These 3 lines here are the menus buttons. So if you take the menu button here, it shows actually first the statistics on how many shots have been done on the machine. And with the plus, you walk through the menu. First, that's pre-infusion. So you can set pre-infusion. If we click here, then it actually starts flowing water through, and you can set pre-infusion on seconds. So second is eco mode. So if you want to do power saving, you can set this eco mode on, like we did now. What it does is after half an hour, it actually reduces the temperature to 45 degrees on both boilers, and after 3 hours, it turns the machine fully down. So again, the next one is actually a power mode. So the machine by default only heats one boiler at a time. The reason for it being it's quite powerful. I think it's 1,400 watts, both boilers, something about that. So if you use both heating elements at the same time, you have nearly 3,000 watts that you're using, and this can cause problems in your electrical installation, especially if you have additional devices running on the same circuit. So by default, it is only possible to heat one at a time. But if you are safe, if you have a good electrical circuit, you can do the power mode, so it heats up faster both boilers. That's the setting here. Then we have the automatic cleaning program. So let's just start it here. So if we go here, then you push the button, and then it actually flushes 5 times. So you put in the blind filter, go on here, and it does 5 times flushing. So yeah, we can maybe take a look. So it flushes, now I go through because we don't have the blind filter in here, but it flushes a few seconds and then it stops. So it usually would put up pressure, and again. So to go out of it, we turn it on and off. To be back on, to show you the rest of the menu. All right, that's the heat up element. And now, last thing here, that's the diamond here, is the descaling. Usually don't get rid of diamonds, but of lime scale. But yeah, this is, you have an automated program. You actually, to be able to do that one, you turn on the steam knob. So you open the steam knob basically, you put in the descaling solution into the tank, and this automatically fills it with the descaling solution, and after some time it also tells you to put in fresh water, and it gets rid of the descaling solution afterwards. So it's an easy way of descaling without the need to read any manuals. All right, that's the menu settings on the Arkel Coast. So now let's take a quick look on, if you're buying Arkel Coast, what accessories you're getting with the Coast. So the first thing when you open the box is you get kind of a starter kit, they're calling it. And in this box, you're gonna find the portafilter, which is this one here. There's only one portafilter included with a double spout. You are able to buy additional portafilter with single spout and with bottomless, but they don't come by default. Originally, out of the box, you have also one nano-coated EMS filter basket that comes with it, which is this one. I think it's more like you probably need like 20 grams on this one. You also get one water filter. It's actually a filter water filter that you can use in the tank. If you have quite some hardness in the water, you get some descaling solution, and you get some brush for your brew group in here. Yeah, that's also included in the beginning. And you get some manual on the Coast. And one thing I nearly forgot now, you also get a temper, which is this one. All right, let's take a look inside. So if we go from the front to the back side, on the front side, the most important piece is the brew boiler. So we see the brew boiler here, which is mounted in the middle, right above the brew group. So that's basically one piece. So to have the thermal stability and to have it really integrated. If we look at the top, we have the heating elements here. We have a filling sensor and a temperature sensor and some safety temperature sensors here. Interesting is this one. It's actually a screw on top because you can update the boiler quite well. So there's the same screw like this on the bottom of the brew group. So you can actually unscrew on the bottom, unscrew on the top, and you just empty the boiler if you want to transport the machine. The pipes here, it's actually coated pipes, the special pipes, which are silicone pipes with some special coating so that it can actually transport water under pressure. We have the pressure, the gauges in the front here, and here we have the opening, closing of the steam vent with the joystick, and the other side, this is doing the magic on our flow control. So we have here the opening and closing of the flow, where we do outside, we control basically opening and closing of, it's kind of a pipe. In the middle, or here we see the magnetic valve on the brew group. So if we push the button, it opens, so we can actually have coffee in our cup. And afterwards, there's also the connection to the drip tray for the remaining pressure. On the very front side here, covered by this red coverage, that's the steering with the touch buttons, where you can actually touch all the stuff. So some electronics behind this coverage, well covered, so there's no steam coming to the electric components. On the back side, we have the steam boiler. The steam boiler is controlled by a pressure stud, so it's actually not electrical controlled. It's controlled on pressure. And you have, the whole boiler has actually a kind of a top that you can actually take off. So you have 4 screws to actually open the boiler. So if you need to like clean it or something, you can open the boiler. You have some safety valve, you have some vacuum valve, also safety here on the temperature. You have the heating elements. And the connection to the pressure gauge in the front. Here you have the overpressure valve, so the water coming from the pump is regulated pressure-wise here. That's something you can actually change from the outside. The whole electronics is actually situated on the right backside behind a metal wall, so it's protected here. So you have relays on top and the electrical steering platines on the bottom side. As you can see, it's actually quite well distributed here. If you need to change something, a lot of the things are quite easy to be changed. The tank is here, and if you look at the back side, we see here a very interesting opening. So if you want to empty the steam boiler, you just open this here, and it empties the steam boiler to the drip tray. Here you also see the 2 pumps, one for steam, the back one, and one for the brewing, which is this one. On the tank, you see there's actually some safety basket on the bottom. If there's some spillage on the water, it actually gets catched basically by this basket, and this actually empties into the drip tray as well. Here you have the sensor on the filling of the tank, so if there's not enough water in the tank, this will detect it. Yeah. So that's for inside. Maybe a bit talking about the quality of the components. If we look at the components here, you see that's all stainless steel components that are used, except for the bipolar sensors here that are outside and not touching the water. And the pipes are coated silicone pipes. So there's no brass, there's no copper used in the transport from the water from the tank to the brew group. So just quickly talk about how well is it built actually. As we have seen the inside already, but now let's generally talk about it. If you carry the Coast, you see it's quite heavy. And if you take a look at like the frame here, you see there's quite some robust material being used. It's not perfect in every detail, so some might claim, okay, there's some space between the glass and the frame. There might not also be not perfectly aligned on every detail. Yeah, but it's well made, and it's also quite repair friendly, which for me it's always like being robust is one thing, but also to being repair friendly, as we want to have an espresso machine to last for a long period of time. We want to have it also repair friendly, and if we have seen in the inside, it's quite well and logically set inside, and you can repair a lot of things quite easily. You can do a lot of tweaking on your coffee, which is rather unusual at this price point. But you can not only tweak, you can also make it easy. So in a lot of cases, it's that one person is quite a coffee geek, but there are other people who wants to prepare coffee as well, which don't have that much interest into coffee details. So I have, for example, one customer who just told me he has a Coast, and it's actually easy for his step-parents, it's easy for his wife, and it's also for his kids to use the Arkel Coast. Why is it easy? Because you have dosing functions. So you have A and B as a dosing. Let's say you have a person who just doesn't care that much. You can have a grinder, you set the grinder for him, say, okay, push the grinder button, temp, put it in, push the button here. In Austria, they also drink a lot of Americanos or Verlängerter, how it's called here. And here you also can say to people, okay, take your cup, put it in here, take this button here, you get the water, then push the button on top, and then you get the coffee on top. So it makes it easy, even for not so ambitious people, to prepare coffee. What is also to make it easy function is the shot timer, because then you don't need a stopwatch on your scale or on your watch or something. Easy and very convenient is also the automated backflushing and the automated descaling. And there are two final things on the easy part that sound maybe a bit small, but in the end they are not that small. And the first thing is, it's easy to clean from the outside. So making or having an espresso machine or keeping it clean is not that easy. So if you're looking at traditional machines with E61 brew groups, you have a lot of spaces and areas where it's very difficult to clean. And if it's heated on, it's also quite hot. On this machine, you only had flat surfaces. So you can even use a glass cleaning detergent to go on this part and this part. So it's really, really easy to clean. And also, because it's a coated metal on the side, if you touch around here, you don't see. So even on the glass, you don't see the touches of the fingers. If you use that one or you try that one on a chromed machine, it's a very different story. So it's easy to clean, and also, and that's the second thing, sounds maybe silly, but it's important in a lot of cases if you're buying such a machine. It also looks easy. So some people are afraid of using an espresso machine. This machine looks easy for people, and that makes it easier to convince other persons in the household or in the company to buy an espresso machine and not go with a fully automatic. Talking about usage already, maybe also talk about what are proper use cases for the Arkel Coast. First, it's not a very tiny city kitchen, because it's not the smallest machine on the market. But if you have some space, or if you can give the Coast some space, it's a very good machine for ambitious people at home, and also for people who use it at home and there are different ambition levels in the family. That's probably the main target group for the Arkel Coast. But I think there are also two more use cases that fit quite well on this machine. The second is offices. If you have a small office, this is a machine that makes it easy for people. And out of the 12 coasts that we actually have delivered to customers, there are already 2 of them now in offices and serving coffee there for people. Because they said, okay, that's now a machine which actually my colleague would use as well. And I think that machine can also cover small professional purposes. Like if you have a night bar and you're preparing, let's say, 20, 25 coffees a day, this is way enough on the machine to cover such a situation. So if you have a small restaurant where there's not a lot of coffee demand, if you have a small bar with not a lot of coffee demand, this machine can do the job on such situations. And why do I say that? Because it's easy to clean, it has enough place and space here to work, and it's easy to explain for your employees. All right, so that was a lot of information, a lot of details on the Arkel Coast. So let's do some summary. The Arkel Coast is a very new player coming out of Porto. So it's Fernando who founded the company Arkel, and the Coast is now the first machine coming and hitting the markets. We are now in the first delivers on the market. And the core values, it's a dual boiler, stainless steel from the boilers till towards the brew group. And it has quite some innovations in the details. So automated cleaning programs, toast buttons for extractions. It has an easy menu, but also you can use it freaky, not only easy, you can do some, especially some flow control here. It is one of the machines now hitting the markets that are kind of pushing the innovation and are kind of also changing the market, I think. So we're gonna see a lot of different machines in future, maybe moving away from the traditional designs that we are having. And I think the Arkel Coast can be a good player in this new world of espresso machines. All right. If you enjoyed and want to have information on new videos, we invite you to subscribe our channel. Also, if you have some questions on the Coast, please let us know in the comments. We try to answer promptly. Yeah, and if you are a Coast owner already yourself and you have some information that we haven't covered or some first experiences, let us know. It's always interesting for us and fun to learn from other customers. All right, thanks and have a great day.